Hey everyone, and welcome to the 30 Days of Courage. I'm your host, Ashley Easter. I am the founder and executive director of Courage 365, and I'm so glad that you've chosen to join us tonight. I am beyond thrilled because we are starting a whole month of incredible events, amazing panels, self care challenges, prizes, game shows, and more. And I cannot wait to have you participate in all these things. Me and our board at Courage 365, we've been preparing for this for a long time. So it's so nice to see that some of you have popped on already. I know some of you will be watching the replay. And even if you're not catching this live, you're catching the replay, go ahead and send us a comment with where you're from and what you're most excited about for the 30 Days of Courage. So I wanted to talk to you about what our theme is for this year. So we've done the 30 Days of Courage. I think this is our fourth or fifth year in a row. And this year we have a theme all about investing in your healing. And I want to talk to you a little bit about investing in yourself, in your healing, what that looks like, and what we have to offer during this month of October to help you do that, to help you bring your healing a couple steps forward. And if you're an advocate who is not also a survivor, we welcome you too. And there'll be plenty of information for you to learn along the way, even if you're not on a healing path and journey, but especially for those who are survivors just like me. This month is going to be chock full of healing tools, insights, and all kinds of things to really support you. And I'm just so glad that you are here. In case you aren't familiar with Courage 365, maybe this is your first event you've attended. Maybe this is the first time you're hearing about us. I just want to tell you a little bit about who we are. So, we are a nonprofit that supports abuse survivors of all different types. We have historically focused on people who've had some sort of a religious connection, whether their abuse happened there, maybe there was a cover up, or something of that nature. You do not need to be religious, however. Survivors in our community have chosen to stay religious, to leave religion, to switch religions entirely. This is not a religious event, but sometimes it is helpful to have people who understand the religious components that can be entangled in our abuse. But whatever type of survivor you are, we welcome you here. We're so glad. Courage 365 promotes events like this. We have free resources on our website, daily text messages, which you'll see on the screen below if you want to sign up for those. And yeah, we have a couple of other things that we're going to be starting in the next few months, but we're really here to empower you, to give you support, tools, and community so you don't have to do this healing journey alone. If at any time you want to check us out and learn more information, you can go to our website, www.courage365.org. And there you'll see our mission statement, you'll see our free resources, and all the things that we have to offer. Now, I want to get into the topic today about investing in your healing. At the end, we're going to talk about the 30 Days of Courage and what you can expect. But before that, I want to share some of the insights, some of the tips and tools I have learned about the importance of investing in your own healing. So, what does it really mean to invest in your healing? Let's maybe start there. And if you see me glancing down, I do have a couple of notes, and so I'll be looking at those throughout. But I've prepared a talk for you to really help you understand what investing in your healing looks like and what are some of the next steps you can do to take that healing process forward. So, what does investing in your healing mean? Well, to me, investing in your healing means choosing to take action to advance your well being. That's all. Choosing to take action to advance your well being. There's so many different ways you can do this, and we're going to talk about different tools. But at its base form, that's all it means to invest in your healing. It's making the choice to invest in yourself, to do anything to promote your own well being. It's deciding that you want to take charge of your healing journey. So many of us me included, we have had people in our lives who have tried to take away our power. They've tried to take away our autonomy. They've tried to take away our choice. And now we're on the other side of that. We're in a place where we're able to step onto the healing path and we get to choose what we want that healing path to look like. Healing is not linear. It's not a straight line all the way to the top. Sometimes it's a circular, sometimes it's a bit of a mess. And everybody's healing journey is going to look different. I'm not here to tell you what one thing you need to heal, because all of us are going to have different things that are going to be helpful, that we're going to resonate with, and that are going to be interesting. But choosing, making a choice to commit to investing in our well-being, that's really where it all starts. And if you're thinking to yourself, that sounds great, but I really don't feel deserving of investing in my healing. Investing in myself at all feels really foreign. I understand that. I grew up in a cult-like community where it was so much focus on how you can invest in other people, how you could serve other people, how you could work towards putting all your time and energy into other people. And so the concept of self-esteem, the concept of investing in yourself, the concept of taking time to really decide what you want in life and how to heal, that was really foreign to me. So if that is foreign to you, just know that you're not alone in that. I have totally been there, and I'm sure there's other people here in the Courage 365 community that have been there as well. But here's the truth. Whether you feel deserving or not, you are deserving of healing. Whether you feel it or not, it is a fact that you are deserving of healing. You are deserving of your own time and energy to be put towards you experiencing greater and greater levels of well-being. And not only that, you are worthy of other people coming alongside and investing in you as well. And that's what we want to do here at Courage 365. So there are two types of people, and this is not a shame thing at all, because I have been on both sides of these things. There's people who take an active role in their healing, and there's people who are not ready, not at that stage where they're able or willing to take an active role. And it is understandable that there are some times in our life when we really need to just sit back and just take a breather. But taking action towards your healing is really the thing that's going to move you along. And rest can be part of that action. Rest can be part of your healing journey. But for you to get where you want to be, to experience the benefits of healing, to experience the benefits of your own well-being, there is going to need to be some action taken. And sometimes in our minds, because maybe we don't feel worthy, because maybe we've been indoctrinated to think that we should only focus on other people and serving them, sometimes we make up excuses in our minds as to why we don't invest in ourselves. And that could be putting everybody first before yourself. Understandable. I've been there. I grew up as a people pleaser. I understand what that's like. But if you put other people ahead of you so much that you're not investing in yourself, there's going to be so much that you're missing out on as a person, as an individual. And yes, when you achieve next levels in your healing, there's going to be more energy and time to support other people as well. That's really what I do. I've grown so much in my healing journey, and I do my best to give back and support other people through Courage 365 and other means. But if we are only focusing on others and not on ourselves, if we're not taking action in our healing journey, we're going to get the same results as we've already had. And that's probably why you're here, because you don't like the same results that you've been getting on your healing path. The other thing is sometimes we can make excuses in our mind to put off our healing. We can trick ourselves into thinking that, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, or this is really hard work and I don't really want to go there, and it's hard where I'm at now, but it's scary to change and grow. It's scary to jump onto healing paths. I'm just going to do it tomorrow. And tomorrow turns into a week, a month, a year, 5 years down the road, and you're at the same place as where you were. And again, Sometimes we need to take breaks in our healing journey. Sometimes we need to take rest, and sometimes we're just at a really dark point in our lives where we need to just focus on being. But if you're constantly putting off your healing out of fear, out of procrastination, out of, I don't deserve to have this, you're not going to get where you want to go on your healing path. And I want you to feel that healing so much. The other thing is sometimes I feel like there are people in the survivor community that give up on themselves. They give up on the idea that healing is even possible. And I'm here to tell you, healing is not a destination. It is a journey. It is something that happens over a long, extended period of time, and there's always more growth to happen. Just like the universe is constantly expanding, there's always new ways for us to grow and heal. But if we just shut down on ourselves, if we just say it's not worth even trying, that really breaks my heart. And I've seen people who are there, and I get it, I understand it, but I want so much more for you. I want you to be on a healing path where you're experiencing greater and greater levels of well being. So, taking action really is key on this path to healing. And I wish that you didn't have to take any action. It's not fair that you're in this position where you have to heal. It's not fair what happened to you, and it's not your fault. But the way to move forward through healing is by taking action. It is by taking our power back. And sometimes that means making a plan and deciding, what do I want to do next to help me advance in my healing journey? It doesn't mean you have to have your whole healing path mapped out. But what could be the next step for me? Is it finding a therapist? Is it joining the 30 Days of Courage, listening to the panel discussions, and participating in the self-care challenges? Is it journaling? Is it just spending some quality time with myself? That plan is going to look different for every person. But thinking through, what do I want to do next to help me advance on my healing journey, creating even a small little action step, a small plan to move forward. That is really where big actions come from. They come from small baby steps. The next thing that can really help us take action is seeking support. Having other people coming alongside us, having other people come around us to support us in our healing journey. It is hard to heal alone. And if you are like me and you've been through seasons where it has felt so lonely, I can assure you that there is safe, supportive community out there, and you deserve to be connected to that. They can help support you, cheer you on as you're taking those healing steps. The next thing is you've got to do the work. So making a plan is important. Having community support, whether that's professional support or peer support or community support like in this Facebook group, that's all important. But at the end of the day, we've got to do the work. We've got to take the steps. We can't just plan for it. We can't just get the support. Sometimes we actually have to do it. And again, that's going to look different for every single person here. That is going to look completely different. Your path might be going this direction and might be going that direction, and somebody else's might be going that direction. All of that is okay as long as you're intentional about getting onto your healing path. So I want to ask you, and feel free to drop this in the comments if you would like. What do you think might be your next step on your healing path? Could it be looking for a therapist? Could it be participating in the 30 Days of Courage? Could it be taking some time for yourself? Just think about it, and if you feel comfortable, maybe drop a 1 or 2 word response of what you think might be the next step on your healing path. One thing that I have found to be incredibly valuable on my healing journey is betting on myself, is learning that I cannot change the people around me. I cannot change the abuse that happened to me. I cannot change the people who don't support me. I cannot change the systems that cause this to be overnight. And yes, we do work to change systems, but I can't change what happened, and I can't ultimately be the one to make other people change. They have to do that. But what I can do is I can bet on myself because I can grow and trust in myself, knowing that if I say I'm going to do something like healing, like taking that next step on my healing path, that I'm going to follow through with that because I actually have an active role in making a choice to do that. There's so many things in life that we can't change, that we can't affect. But most of the time, we can affect change for ourselves. And that can be by making a choice to take an action, a next step forward on our healing path. Sometimes we bet on other people. Sometimes we trust other people and they don't follow through on their word. Sometimes we trust on other people. We bet that they will keep us safe, that they will have our back. And sometimes that falls through. But you know what? You can have your back. You can be the one to decide to say, you know what? These things happen to me. And also, I'm going to take my next steps on my healing journey. I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to invest in myself because I know that's something that I can control. Oh, there's a great quote I wanted to share with you. It says, bet on yourself. You'll never lose if you bet on yourself, by Greg Plitt. So what's the outcome of investing in your healing? What could it possibly look like? Well, I want to tell you 2 stories about myself. And one might seem a little bit unrelated, but I think you'll see the parallels in a few minutes. I have an autoimmune disorder. It's something that I have struggled with for the last 5, 6 years now. Something that affects my life on a daily basis and can sometimes make me pretty miserable. And I know of someone who had a very similar autoimmune disorder, and they took a very long time to get the help and support they needed. And that ended up in a lot of different additional complications. And I'm not shaming or blaming that person because that was where they were at in their life. But when I heard that story, I learned from their example, and I decided that I was going to step on my healing path with my autoimmune disorder very intentionally. Again, not shaming or blaming that person. They were at that place in their life and they did what they could do in the moment. But when they told that story and how they wished they had gotten on their healing path sooner, I decided when I got a similar autoimmune disorder that I wanted to be very proactive in my healing. So I went to the doctor's appointments. I tried so many different medications. I changed my diet. I did all kinds of different things to change my life around healing my body from this autoimmune disorder. And this particular one, similar to trauma, it's not something that you can just get rid of. It's not something that just ever goes away. There's not exactly a cure for it, but you can heal it in different stages, and you can go into something called remission, which means that the symptoms lessen and lessen to a point where you may not even feel them hardly at all. But there's things that I have to keep in place to make sure that I don't regress. There's doctor's appointments I have to continue to go through. I actually have a nurse come to my home every couple of weeks and they do an infusion in my arm with some special medication that helps. But it wasn't until really this year where I found that medication that's been helping me so much. Earlier this year, I had a health scare and things got really bad. I wasn't sure what to expect. I was really scared about what was happening to my body. But through that, I kept pushing through. I kept reaching out for support. I reached out to my community to support me during that time. I reached out to professionals. And finally, after 5+ years, we found something that seems to be working. And it's not that I don't have bad days sometimes, but it's that I continue to do the things in my life to feel better and better. I'm consistent with those tools. And it's been the same way for my healing journey from abuse. I grew up in a cult-like environment. I experienced multiple forms of abuse. And the trauma from that is not something that you can just cure. There's not a magic wand that I can wave over it and just fix it. It's something that I have had to take years to find therapists who worked well for me, different medications from doctors that could help with my trauma responses, different practical tools I could use in my daily experience. And it's not that every single day is a good day, but more days than not have become good days because I've invested the time, the energy, and even the money into my trauma healing. And the outcome has been amazing. There's still more healing I can do. And like I said, there's always going to be more healing that we can do because there's always going to be more growth that can take place. But just like with my autoimmune disorder, when I kept on it, when I had a supportive community around me, when I reached out to professionals, and when I was consistent with it, I have found so much healing from trauma. And that's really what I see for you. So, what are some of the outcomes that can happen when we commit to a healing journey? One is we can start to feel more feelings of safety in our body, learning how to regulate our nervous system, learning how to make ourselves feel safe by avoiding certain situations and by cultivating others for ourselves. Our healing journey can help us not only improve our relationship with ourselves, but also with other people around us. I know that each time I invest in my healing, I'm not just investing in me, but I'm investing in the relationships that I have around me because I'm able to show up better or differently. Able to show up in a way where I can support them, not just the other way in return. It can be a reciprocal relationship. My healing journey has allowed me to start lessening my anxiety. It's helped me grow in deeper self trust. Oftentimes, we feel lighter the more we step onto that healing journey path. More happiness can come in and more safe community connections our eyes can be open to. Now, I'm not going to fool you. It's not easy. Just like with my autoimmune disorder, there are times when I feel like I've gone backwards. I felt that way too with my trauma healing journey. But it is worth it to invest in yourself, not because we ever achieve perfection, but because the more we invest in ourselves, the better it gets. And the better it gets for us, the more we're able to give love and light to the world. So, what does it take to invest in yourself? Well, it could take a variety of things, but if you really break it down, number one, it takes time. It takes time. Sometimes we just want time to heal all wounds, and that really doesn't work. That's not really how the world works. Time in and of itself does not heal all wounds, but time paired with healing modalities, time paired with doing the work, time paired with safe community, time paired with healing professionals, those things together can bring healing. And it does mean that sometimes we have to schedule things on our calendar. Sometimes we have to set aside time that other people want us to be doing other things, or we feel like we should be doing other things. Time is something that we've got to invest if we want to experience healing. Then energy or effort. We have to not only take time, but we've got to put in the work with those healing tools, with those healing modalities. We've got to put in the energy and the effort behind those things because just being handed the tools without putting any energy towards them doesn't really allow those tools to work. We don't activate the tools, whether that's therapy or journaling or EFT tapping or EMDR or whatever it is, until we actually put energy towards using those tools. It also takes dedication. It takes so much dedication because on this healing path, we can get discouraged sometimes. We can get frustrated. And because it's not a linear path where it's all uphill, straight to the sky, we have to dedicate ourselves and realize that sometimes we have to pause, sometimes we have to take a break, and sometimes we just have to set it down for a minute. But that we can trust ourselves to come back to our healing journey, that we can trust ourselves to reach out to another professional or let our safe community know that we need some support. Dedication is really key. And then lastly, sometimes because we live in a capitalist society, it takes money. I have had to invest money in my healing, whether that's therapy or coaching sessions with my autoimmune disorder. That's been doctor's appointments and medications. all of that sometimes has to be something we're willing to invest. At Courage 365, we do our best to offer as many free resources as possible to the survivor community because we know that there are so many other things that really require your monetary investment, whether that's therapy or medical appointments. But whether it is time, energy, dedication, or money, it is going to cause us to have to invest something to experience healing on our path. So, what are some different ways you can invest in your healing? And remember, everybody's path is going to look different, but investing in therapy is one of the big ways. And we have a free workshop and ebook on the Courage 365 website under the free resource tab, all about how to find a therapist and even some free options for therapy. So I would check that out. Prioritizing self care. So many times we have been taught that caring for ourselves is somehow wrong or bad, that being selfish is wrong or bad. We've been told don't be selfish our whole lives, but selfish really means focus on self. And we need to focus on ourselves sometimes, and especially when we're on a healing path. That doesn't mean we don't also focus on other people, but it's okay to have self focus and then to have self care alongside of that. Building a support network, just like what we have inside of this Facebook group, the Courage 365 Facebook group. Building a supportive network, whether it's online or in person, that's going to be so, so valuable. Learning to practice self-reflection. So oftentimes we go through life and we just do the next thing, do the next thing, do the next thing. And sometimes we've just got to live that way. I get that. I've been there. There's seasons of life where all I can do is just what's next on my calendar. I'm going to do that and then that and then that and just keep going. But for us to really heal, part of investing in our healing is self-reflection, asking ourselves, why did I act or respond that way? Why did that make me feel this way? Where did this originate from? And really self-reflecting on the why, asking why. If you've grown up in a cult-like community like I have, asking why is not always something that people like to hear. But it's such a valuable question, and especially a valuable question when we're asking ourselves why, just to understand on a deeper level, not to come from a place of judgment, but to come from a place of empathy and understanding of ourselves. Maybe it's about learning different healing techniques. Like I've talked about, there's EFT tapping, there's EMDR, there's psychedelic therapy that people are starting to get licenses for. There's so many different healing tools. There's neurofeedback, brain therapy, so many tools. All of those have different types of investments that may require time, energy, sometimes money. Establishing boundaries. This one often calls for time and energy because the people we're setting boundaries with often do not listen the first time. And so it requires our time and our energy to get them to listen to our boundaries so we can make sure that our people around us are safe. Seeking knowledge and education, always learning more about ourselves, about different ways we can heal, about community, and even understanding trauma. I found that just researching that's something that takes time. It's often something you can do for free by Googling all these professional articles written by amazing people. But all these different ways to invest in yourself and so many more, they require either time, energy, dedication, or money, and you are worth investing yourself so you can get the outcomes we talked about: feeling safer in your body, improved relationships, less anxiety, deeper self-trust, feeling lighter, feeling happier, and having safer community connections. So how can Courage 365 support you on investing yourself? Well, the whole month of October, we're going to be providing so many different tools for you. And we could easily charge a lot of money for what we're here to offer because the caliber of our speakers, the dedication that has gone into creating the self-care challenges, the prizes we're giving away, all those things, we could easily charge for those. But we know you're already investing your money in so many other things. So we're offering this 30 Days of Courage program for you for free. And I want to tell you about some of the different ways that you can use this free 30 Days of Courage to invest in your healing. Maybe you'll decide to partake in all of them. Maybe you'll pick and choose. Any and all of that is okay. It's up to you to decide what is best for your healing journey. But all I ask is that if you're going to participate in the 30 Days of Courage, that you look at it as an investment in yourself, that you look at it not as some fluffy thing that's just like an extra, but you look at it, you take it seriously as these tools could actually help me take my next step in my healing journey. It could actually help me open my eyes to a new opportunity or new way of looking at things. So here's some of the things that we have to offer coming up for the next little bit. Number one is we have a panel discussion every week. So in the past, we have done one speaker per night, and I'm the only one speaker per night that that you're having during 30 Days of Courage. The rest are going to be panel discussions, and we have one coming up October 4th. This is going to be super exciting. It's about unmasking cults with TV documentary experts. So we have actually found 3 experts, survivors, and advocates from documentaries, ones that you're probably familiar with, and they're going to talk about the cults that they have been in or that they've helped people leave from. So Sarah Edmondson, she was on The Vow. Not sure if you've heard of that documentary. It was on HBO, but it's about the NXIVM cult with Keith Raniere, and that cult was in the paper a lot in the past couple of years, really talking about all the deception, the lies, and the manipulative, dangerous tactics that were used. And Sarah is a survivor, and she has written an incredible book, which I'll be talking more about leading up to that event. And she also has a beautiful podcast called A Little Bit Culty. And we're going to get to hear from her talking about her experience. We're going to hear from Emily Anderson, who was in the Shiny Happy People documentary, the one about the Duggars and Bill Gothard. That was on Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, I would encourage you guys actually to go and maybe binge watch some of these documentaries if you want to, just to kind of get a feel for who these speakers are if you're not already familiar, because they've done some amazing work. And then Matson Browning, he is one of the people who helped women escape on the TV documentary series Escaping Polygamy. He's also helped people leave cult groups like the Skinheads. He went undercover in some of those groups and helped people break free, help break those cults up. And the thing I'm most excited about with this panel is that each of them have such powerful stories. Emily has such an inside look to what the IBLP, the Bill Gothard cult was like. Sarah has so much insight into what NXIVM was like, and Matt Browning, he has so much insight into what it looks like escaping. But what I know from being on some background things with TV production companies is that you can talk for 60 minutes and only get 60 seconds on screen. And so I'm going to be asking them, like, what did you not get to talk about on these documentaries? How can we go deeper? And maybe even more important than that, seeing the 3 of them interact and share insights with each other and bounce ideas off of each other. This is like a once in a lifetime experience to have these 3 people together from these series. They're real survivors doing real work. They're not just TV survivors. Like, they are still in the trenches doing good work. And not only will I be asking them questions on the panel, but you will have an opportunity to ask them questions live as well. So you're definitely going to want to tune in for that. And the other panels we'll have coming up during the month are demystifying coercive control inside the mind of a predator, and religious trauma syndrome. So, all really important things. Then, and this is where it really comes down to you investing in your healing, we have weekly self care challenges. They will be announced every Monday. There'll be a self care challenge that you can use to help take the next steps in your healing journey. And it's going to be a prize in and of itself for you to participate, because these are well thought out things that we've created for you. But if you participate in them every week that you do and you share about it in the group, there'll be instructions how to do that. You'll be entered in a drawing for a prize. And if you complete all 4, you'll be entered into a drawing for a grand prize, which is really exciting. On top of that, we have Saturdays support groups. They are peer support groups, peer discussion groups with Courage 365 board members. They're going to be on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And you can already go into the group and see where we have scheduled those out. You can click going. Zoom links will be added to them later. These are going to be really powerful for you to learn alongside other people, to really be able to discuss and to build community with other survivors. It's going to be really, really amazing. The last few years we've done this, we've had such powerful feedback. Then sometimes we talk about really dark subjects. You know, we talk about abuse, we talk about healing, we talk about the sacrifices we sometimes have to make to invest in our healing. But to lighten things up at the end, we always try to come off with an empowerment theme, but to really just kind of end the 30 days of courage with a bang, we're going to be having a live game show, and it's just going to be fun. It's going to be a trivia game show that you can watch just like you're streaming this now. There'll be 3 contestants, and you can play along as the audience. You can watch, or you can drop in the comments what you think the answers are. And let me tell you a little secret. You're going to have a better shot at knowing what the answers are if you listen to all the panels, because a lot of the clues are going to be dropped in those panels. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Then in addition, we have our thriving Facebook community. We're going to have discussion questions there. You can ask questions. You can meet other survivors. I would encourage you, if you're not feeling like you have a lot of community around you, so maybe make a post in the group and introduce yourself. Ask people if they live near you, or if they have similar interests and commonalities. It's a great way to meet people. But if you just sit back and watch the group and don't participate, don't introduce yourself, it's going to be hard to make those connections. The other thing I want to note about the Facebook group is this month you will be getting more notifications than most of the time, most of the year. And that's simply because a lot of people are not receiving the notifications the way the Facebook algorithm works. And so for you to be able to see those, we need to tag everyone in the group. And so we'll try not to overdo it, but it is going to be more than normal. And then after October, we're going to go back to our regular, not tagging people very often. But just know that we're doing that because some people have specifically requested in the past that we tag everyone so people can actually see what's happening in the group and they don't miss things. All right, so the last thing I want to remind you of is, for you to get the most out of the 30 days of courage, you're going to have to invest some time and energy in this. You're going to have to maybe set times on your calendar to tune into the lives or to watch the replays, to invest in yourself by participating in the challenges or the support groups, whatever resonates most with you. But we really believe that you can experience so much goodness through the 30 days of courage, so many aha moments, so much empowerment information, and so many healing insights. But you're not going to receive that if you just participate casually. The people who are going to get the most out of the 30 days of courage is those who really invest in themselves by participating in the activities and investing in their healing through the time and energy that you use participating. We're going to do our best to make it entertaining, to make it educational, to make it meaningful, empowering, and impactful. But we need you to show up for your own healing if you want to get the benefits for those things. If there's any way that we can support you during the 30 Days of Courage, be sure to ask inside the group. It has been such an honor kicking off this evening. If you want to see the schedule, make sure that you look at the top of the group. We have it pinned. I think it's the top picture there, and you'll be able to put everything on your calendar. We'll also make events inside of Facebook, all of those things. But I am so glad that you're here. I am so excited to spend the next 30 days with you, to introduce you to some of my friends and colleagues, and to see those shifts and changes happening in your life. I'm sending you all so much love, and as always, live with courage. Bye.